So IDs, if Module 10 is formative assessment, then summative assessment can't be too far behind, and that's exactly right. Module 11 is summative assessment, and of course, that's going to include measuring tools for summative assessment, and that's what we typically refer to as a rubric. And of course, you've been working with rubrics all semester, but the thing is, we're going to examine it, the rubric pretty closely along with summative assessment, and then you're going to be able to, in your final summative assessment for this particular module, develop your assessment for your own course and the rubric to go along with that. So that's pretty exciting stuff. The great thing about this particular week too, in the summative assessment discussion, is that the article that we're going to read actually brings in both formative and summative assessment and makes a comparison. And I know you've already done that last week, but this one does it in a very kind of an interesting way. So the discussion actually is going to ask you and invite you to bring in the readings from last week to this week's discussion, because based on what you read here, you may be even thinking a little bit differently about your definition of formative assessment. So I think it's going to be an interesting discussion again this week. Not to say that any of the other ones weren't. They've all been very good, and so you kind of look forward to that. The whole idea of kind of maybe revisiting your formative assessment definition through your study of summative this particular week. So again, that's your assignment is going to be your final deliverable for your assignment or assessment or whatnot in your final course, along with the rubric. And we're going to look at a demonstration actually of a summative assessment that's scenario based. So I know that we've all been rather familiar with your typical assignment, your typical test, any of those things that you do for summative assessment. But this one that I worked on for a legal studies course last year is really kind of an interesting way of measuring measuring the understanding of content through a scenario base. So look forward to that. It's a pretty interesting one. It's going to involve a case and some final writing and decision making and things like that. It's actually pretty good. And then the rubric one is actually kind of based on a presentation that I gave to the faculty at Northeastern a few years ago, where we actually, with a partnership with another colleague, we put together this presentation. It's pretty good. It examines, gives reasons, maybe some of the ones that you may not have thought of before, in terms of what are rubrics used for. So look forward to that. It's pretty good. And then I want to just talk a little bit about what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. We're into Module 11. That means we're getting actually close to the end, and we're nearing Thanksgiving and all that sort of stuff. So I want you to know that next week, as you can see on the syllabus, is the collaboration week, and collaboration for this particular module is mostly going to be devoted to you collaborating with another group to examine your course project up to this point. So your course is actually going to be inviting in one of your classmates' groups, and you're going to examine each other's course up to this point. Now, your course does not have to be complete by any means. All it is meant to be a supportive opportunity to get feedback from your classmates before you turn in your final project and before you prepare your final presentation of the project. And we'll talk about that next week as well. So it's meant to be supportive. You don't have to have everything buttoned up, but it is a great opportunity to sharpen your work before you hand in your final project. And you're actually going to have a sizable amount of time because it's going to go over the Thanksgiving week, that week. So you're essentially going to have 2 weeks to get, a lot of your coursework done and get some feedback as well before you have a couple of weeks on the other side to finish up your project. All right, so be seeing that as an opportunity and not as an invasion of your course. Okay, but if you have reservations about that, make sure you let me know, and we'll see what we can do about that. Other than that, once again, have a really terrific week. You know how to reach me on the Q&A forum and email, of course. Just be aware too that in all honesty, we know that this at this particular time in the course where it's starting to get a little bit tough, and getting things on time, getting things in on time is not as easy. I've kind of turned into Professor Ping. Well, I'm kind of reminding some of us about deadlines, and I can't tell you, that deadlines are really important, and we want to make sure that we're in good practice with that. We all have challenges with deadlines, and I know I've mentioned that before, but do your best to get the things in on time, and get into good practice with that. It's gonna be helpful to you in the long run, because we're deadline driven as IDs, as you all know. Have a great week, and we'll see you online. Bye.